You're a quack doctor throwing ingredients into a pot hoping to make the best potion in Quacks of Quedlinburg by Wolfgang Walsh and North Star Games.
This review is brought to you by Meeple Times. Go to meepletimes.com to find many board games at buy one, get one half off. It's also brought to you by Game Booster, a Facebook group dedicated to find you the best deals on board games.
But before we get into my full Gamers review, let's get down to the table and see how it plays. So here we have a game of Quacks of Quedlinburg set up and ready to go. One thing that I will say is this is not going to be a full comprehensive review. If you would like to get that, there are plenty of other reviews and watch how to play is out there. And also you can read the rulebook if you really want to. So this is just a general idea of how the game plays. Basically how you're going to play is your starting spot is going to be where this droplet currently is on the board, and you're going to draw tokens out of your bag. Your starting tokens are right there listed on your board. Makes it real nice so you know exactly what is inside your bag at the beginning. You're going to draw tokens from the bag, and whatever number is listed, ooh, that's a big one. That's a 3, but that's a white 3, and I'll explain why that's not good in a second. You're going to place this ingredient that many spots, whatever number it is, away from the previous ingredient. In this case, the starting spot of the job. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Place it right there. Now, one thing you want to be careful of is if the white ingredients are cherry bombs, and they can make your pot explode. So if the sum of the white ingredients is greater than 7, your pot will explode. And there are negative effects if your pot explodes, which I will explain as well. So right now we have 3, so we want to think, do we want to keep going or do we want to call it quits? Well, I know there's some 2s in there and there's lots of 1s in there, so I'm going to say we keep going. So, oh, I got a pumpkin. Pumpkins don't really mean anything, they just kind of fill up your bag. So I keep pulling until either I want to stop or I bust. So there's a 1, here's another 1, a white 1, here is another white 1. So right, I'm at 3, 4, 5. So if I get a 2, I'll be at 7, but that's still not exploding. So let's see. Oh, here is a white 2. So 1, 2. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there because I am currently at 7. So if I were to pull another one, which I could technically if I wanted to, there's a good chance I'm going to explode. So I'm going to stop right there. The spot you're looking at is the very next spot in your pot. So here we have a it says 9, and it also has a 1 on there. So that's going to be what I'm going to be referencing when I am talking about these next steps. So once everyone in the group is done pulling from the bag, you go up to this main scoreboard, and you are going to start scoring everything. The first thing you do is whoever is furthest along in their pot, as in whoever has the highest number, is going to roll this die. They're going to roll the die. Then you're going to resolve the black, green, and purple ingredients, which are listed on their books over to the side. So if you have any of those in your pot, you can then resolve their effects. Next, you're going to draw a ruby. Now, you are only going to draw a ruby if your last ingredient is landed on top of one of the rubies. Okay, then you are going to score your victory points, which as we saw in my pot, I scored 1 victory point. And then you are going to buy ingredients. Now you can buy up to 2 ingredients, but they must be different ingredients. And the currency is listed right there. That number is how much you have to spend. So you can go over to the books. Let's go and zoom out a little more. You can go over to your books and you can choose ingredients equal to or less than however much money you have. So in this case, I have 9 currency to spend, so I can get this. I can get a 2 green, or I can get a blue 1 and the 1 green, and I can choose that. Like I said, I can get 2 ingredients as long as they're not 2 of the same. And one thing that I almost forgot is if you explode, like I said, there are things you cannot do. First of all, if you explode and you are the furthest on the pot, you cannot roll the die. So when it comes time for someone to roll the die, you cannot. Next thing is you can either choose to buy new ingredients or get victory points, but you cannot do both. Very important. So while exploding can be beneficial, it can also because you get furthest along in the pot and get lots of victory points or lots of currency. There is definitely a downside to it as well. and then we can spend our rubies. So if you have 2 rubies, you can choose to do one of 2 things. The first thing you can do is you can move your drop forward 1 spot. The second thing you can do is you can refill this potion. So if you are pulling from your bag and you pull a white chip and this ingredient is not going to cause you to explode, you can exhaust your potion to put that ingredient back in the bag. Okay, so that's everything. After you score points and everything, you move on, you clear the board and move on to the next round. Now, one thing I will mention is there are a few other things. First, you have these event cards. You flip one over at the beginning of the round and resolve its effect. And then also on the board, you have these little rat tails. So what you do is everybody behind whoever the first player is going to count rat tails. So here we have 1 rat tail, 2 rat tails, and then you have this yellow player. So the yellow player is going to be able to, next round in their pot, they're going to be able to use this rat tail and place it 1, 2 ahead of wherever their drop currently is. And that way, it just fills their pot a little bit and gives them a little bit more of an advantage so that way they can catch up to whoever the leader is. At the end of 9 rounds, whoever has the most victory points wins the game. And that's how you play Quacks of Quedlinburg. Let's go back up top and I'll let you know what I think about it. So let's first talk about genre and theming. I'm going to be completely honest. There's not much theming here. You're pulling numbers out of a bag, placing them in a pot. There's a little bit because they're ingredients and you're making a potion. It is just a mechanic-driven game. There's not much theming. But that being said, I don't think the theming is bad. I just think it could be anything. So I'm not going to say it's bad. It's okay. But it definitely isn't an awesome, theme that I love. Now let's talk about art and components. They could have very easily made these and these books cardstock. It would have worked just fine being cardstock. So the fact that they did cardboard makes it really nice. I like the way the cards feel. They're linen finished. So I like the cards. The dice, I don't really like wooden dice very much, but it serves its purpose, so I'm not complaining too much about that. Biggest complaint would be the chits itself, the ingredients. They serve their purpose. They work great. They work fine. They are a little thin. I wish they were thicker, like Orleans has really, really thick round tiles. Some people have made 3D printed inserts that actually glue them inside. But honestly, I don't find it bad. Once again, it serves its purpose, but that's pretty much the extent of it. And as far as the art goes, I love the art. I like all the bubbles, and I like how it swirls out. The game design, and even the ingredients themselves, how they're spiders and they're moths and pumpkins. I like that a lot. I like the art. And the books. The books, when they're down on the table, they look like, if you're looking straight above on them, they look like they could be actual 3-dimensional books. So I think they did a really good job with the art in this game. Mechanics. This, as I said, is not a theme game. It is a mechanic-driven game. The main mechanic is push your luck. You're bag building. You're putting your hand in, seeing what you draw out, and I think that's really fun, really exciting, because you're doing the math in your head. You have a 1 in 5 chance to bust for your potion to explode. If you draw that 2 or that 3, you're going to explode. Oh, and I drew the 3. Oh, I've been planning on that. I actually drew the 3. So I really like the mechanics of this game. Easy to play, very easy to play. The hardest thing is knowing how the ingredients work. But once you get a few rounds in with each ingredient, you're fine. Replayability. This is where the game shines. So each book comes double-sided. So there's a side level 1, I guess I'll call it, and then there's a level 2 side. And then they give you one of each color of a level 3 and a level 4. So each ingredient has 4 different powers, and you can mix and match these, so the replayability is super high because there's always new combinations you can make with the ingredients. Strategy. This, is where the game shines. If you don't like the mechanic push your luck, you may not like this game. But what it does add in the strategy is you have, how many ingredients? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ingredients, and you can strategize which ingredients to put in your bag to change the outcome of your polls. That is amazing. And some of these can really affect your game. And then on top of that, the strategy with when to use the potion, when to use the gems to, increase your starting drop. There's even a strategy to kind of hang in second place so that way you can get a rat tail or two. And then there's even a strategy for busting. If you know you are going to explode, but if you do, you will be the highest, what you can do is explode on purpose, so that way nobody gets to roll the die, and so that nobody gets that benefit. And then you're limited to either buying something or getting victory points, but that could be a legitimate strategy to slow down whoever may be in the lead for that round. So there is a lot of strategy in this game. So what do I think of this game? Well, I really like it. Does it have its faults? Maybe in some of, like I said, I don't hate the components, but maybe the chips, the ingredients could have been thicker. You might not like the bag building, push your luck element. So it does have some little faults that people may find in it, but I love it. For me, that tension, your hands in that bag, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm not going to bust. There's such a low chance that I'm going to bust. And then you pull it out, and you explode. And I keep saying bust, I mean to say explode, but it's the same thing. Overall, while I did find some negatives, I would still say this is a very good game, and I'm personally going to give it a 9.2 out of 5. I absolutely love this game. Great light game that's easy to bring to the table and people would love. So I've been Ian, and this has been my Gamer's Review for Quacks of Quedlinburg by Wolfgang Wars. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and talk in the comments about what your thoughts are in this game and whether you own it or plan to get it. And remember, whether you're a heavy gamer or a light gamer, always keep it fun.